Chairman of the SPDC, Senior General Tan Sri, received the goodwill delegation led by the Prime Minister of Vietnam, Mr. Nguyen Thanh Duong, who arrived in Via Seri Baikman in Naypyidaw for a working visit on Friday. Vice Chairman of SPDC, Vice Senior General Mao A, and high-ranking officials were present, along with the Vietnamese ambassador to Myanmar. They exchanged views on promotion of existing ties and economic cooperation. At the invitation of Vietnamese Prime Minister Mr. Nguyen Thanh Duong, Prime Minister General Thein Sein arrived in Hanoi, Vietnam for the 16th Asian Summit on Thursday. The Prime Minister was accompanied by the Minister for Information and officials, along with members of the delegation, including the Minister for Foreign Affairs. The Minister for National Planning, Economic Development and the Minister for Culture left for Hanoi in advance. Representatives from 10 Southeast Asian countries are attending the summit that takes place on the 8th and 9th of April. The Prime Minister was seen off at the airport by Head of State Senior General Tan Sri and entourage. Respects were paid to the Chairman of State Sangha Mahanayaka Committee, Chancellor of State Pariyeti, Sasana Universities, Venerable Budenda Kumara, who passed away at the age of 88. A cash donation was made to the Funeral Rights Holding Committee. Present were the Vice Chairman of State Peace and Development Council, Vice Senior General Mung A, together with SPDC's General Purat Shui Man, the Prime Minister and Secretary Wan, along with senior officials on Saturday. Whilst in Nguyen, this Vice Senior General and entourage paid respect to the historic Shui Sidor and Athlon pagodas, viewing environmental conservation and renovation at hand. The sacred Buddha's footprint can be found at Shui Sidor Pagoda, often crowded with pilgrims, especially in the open season. The graduation ceremony of Batch 113 Officer Training School was held in Batu on Monday. After receiving the salute of the cadet columns, Vice Senior General Mung A presented a silver sword to the best cadet, Zin Min Toon. Army Defence Services Officer Training School has been producing cadet officers who can lead light infantry platoons effectively in the field. On behalf of the Commander-in-Chief of Defence Services, Vice Senior General Mung A addressed Damodar Defence, stating that they must protect and safeguard the nation's independence. The Damodar has been undertaking nation-building duties, striving for democracy and economic growth, in line with their 7-step roadmap. The Vice Senior General also stressed that it's the Damodar's duty, with cooperation from the people and the government, to be vigilant against disturbances in order to successfully hold this year's free and fair elections. The graduation dinner of Batch 113 Defence Services Army Officer Training School was held in Batu, Offshore State on Monday. Vice Senior General Mung A graced the graduation dinner and greeted the graduates and their relatives. After the dinner, a school performance and Mayuri music dance troupes entertained the guests. On a visit to Shan State, Vice Chairman of the State Peace and Development Council, Vice Senior General Mung A and entourage graced a ceremony to host the new Diamond Bard atop the Gourmet Pagoda, also paying homage to Mahamuni Buddha image in Namsam on the 6th of April. On his trip, he paid homage to the prominent pagodas in Lash-O, donating cash and overlooking ongoing renovations. For better public health, the Ministry of Health has been opening more hospitals and health centres with trained health staff. 50-bed Namsam Township People's Hospital, equipped with an emergency unit, was opened on Tuesday. Vice Chairman of SPDC, Vice Senior General Mung A and entourage attended the opening ceremony. They provided spectacles and medicines to the eye patients and greeted the local community. Free medical treatments were carried out by a team of eye specialists from No. 2 Defence Hospital. A welcoming ceremony for the Vietnamese Prime Minister was held by Myanmar's Prime Minister, General Thein Sein. Both took the salute of the Guard of Honour. They later exchanged views on regional and international affairs, discussing enhancements of cooperation in agriculture, fishery, finance, transportation, communication, energy, mining, construction, trade and investment, in a frank and cordial atmosphere. 7 MOUs were signed relating to promotion of investment, fishery, agriculture, finance, communication, and mining sectors. Final notification permits to open a representative office for the investment and development of Bank of Vietnam in Yangon and to launch a Yangon-Hanoi direct flight with Vietnam Airlines were exchanged. The Vietnamese delegation presented teaching aid worth $100,000 through the Ministry of Education and $300,000 to Myanmar Football Federation. Visiting Vietnamese Prime Minister Mr. Nguyen Thanh Duong was hosted by Prime Minister General Thein Sein at the Seri Baikman in Naypyidaw on the 2nd of April. Myanmar's Prime Minister presented a documentary photo album to the Vietnamese Prime Minister, who later presented flower baskets to the artists who performed at the event. Myanmar-Vietnam Investment Promotion Conference took place in Yangon on the 3rd of April. 11 MOUs on investment, business ties, industry and sports were signed between the UMFCCI and the Association of Vietnam Investors in Myanmar. Witnessing the signing was the Vietnamese Prime Minister, Mr. Nguyen Thanh Duong.